The Silver Spire, a galaxy we call home, has borne silent witness to the universe's grand narrative for over 13 billion years. Once a maelstrom of creation and chaos, it has mellowed into a stately, mature spiral, its early wildness tamed by eons of cosmic mergers and quiet evolution. Now, as it enters its middle age, the Silver Spire exudes a calm majesty, a far cry from the violent collisions and ravenous mergers of its youth. And yet, one cannot help but wonder, what were those primordial epochs like? To answer that, let us journey back in time and follow the story of a lost civilization, the Xerulians, a people whose quest to understand the cosmos mirrors our own search for meaning. Let's travel back, roughly 11 billion years, when the Silver Spire was not yet the graceful spiral we know, but a ragged assembly of merging dwarf galaxies. At the heart of these unions was a dominant progenitor that would eventually grow into the galaxy we now admire, though back then it was only about 5% of the mass its modern form would possess. For the Xerulians, a curious and contemplative race, their proto-galaxy contained fewer than 10 billion stars and had an irregular, clumpy structure. Their home world, Vestra, lay on the outskirts of this nascent cosmic assembly, a location that, in retrospect, spared them the brunt of frequent catastrophic supernovae erupting from the crowded inner regions. Vestra orbited a brilliant blue star known as Orion, a stellar powerhouse roughly 60% more massive than our modern sun. Orion's intense radiance meant it burned at a higher temperature, emitting a luminosity nearly 7 times greater than that of our sun. Its potent output bathed Vestra in a vivid spectrum of blue and ultraviolet light. To keep their world temperate, Vestra had to orbit at nearly 3 times the distance at which Earth circles the Sun. Even with its overwhelming power, Orion appeared modest in the Xerulian sky, a disk about 40% smaller than expected. Its brilliance spread thinly over the vast orbital distance. Under the steady glow of Orion, life on Vestra carved out a unique evolutionary path. Early organisms developed pigments in shades of turquoise and cobalt to harness the star's energy for photosynthesis. The Xerulians' ancestors, thriving in this light-drenched environment, evolved an exceptional ability to discern subtle variations in blue, naming over 50 distinct hues that spoke to the interplay of life and light. For them, blue symbolized vitality and renewal, while occasional streaks of crimson, born from iron-rich blood compounds, reminded them of life's delicate balance. The gentle pull of Vestra's gravity, measured at roughly 70% of Earth's, profoundly influenced the evolution of Xerulian life. This modest gravitational force meant that the inhabitants did not need overly robust physiques to thrive. Instead, they developed lean, agile bodies optimized for effortless movement. Their physical form, graceful and refined, echoed the ease with which they moved through a world where every step was a harmonious dance with nature. Moreover, the reduced gravity fostered a denser, more stratified atmosphere that diffused Orion's radiant energy into a soft, ambient glow. As a result, the sky was not a harsh, piercing blue, but rather a palette of warm lavender and gentle azure, setting a tranquil backdrop to everyday life. In contrast to many worlds battered by severe ultraviolet bombardment, Vestra's star, Orion, emitted a considerable amount of ionizing radiation that, rather than simply driving rapid mutations, spurred the evolution of sophisticated cellular defense mechanisms. Early life forms developed not only efficient DNA repair enzymes, but also complex antioxidant pathways and molecular chaperones to counteract reactive oxygen species. This intricate biochemical adaptation allowed organisms to neutralize potential damage, while still benefiting from the energy that catalyzed biochemical innovation. Over countless generations, these defenses laid the foundation for a civilization capable of deep scientific inquiry and reflective thought. For countless millennia, the Xerulians flourished. Their society blossomed into a vibrant tapestry of scientific exploration, artistic expression, and philosophical musing. They crafted intricate systems of mathematics, charted the evolving panorama of the Silver Spire, and documented the cosmic ballet of supernovae, tidal disruptions, and the birth of black holes. Yet above all, the search for cosmic kinship became a core pillar of their culture, a burning desire to know if they were truly alone in a vast and often indifferent universe. But as their understanding deepened, The Xerulians were forced to confront a grim reality. Their painstaking observations revealed that stars like Aurorion, while dazzling, might inflict evolutionary stresses too severe for the gradual emergence of complex life. The very radiation that catalyzed innovation also posed a threat to the stability of living cells, and with Orion nearing the twilight of its main sequence, the Xerulians faced the inexorable truth that every star must eventually burn out. Amidst internal debates over their precarious future, an even graver threat began to loom over Vestra. Over decades, a subtle yet insidious change unfolded in the planet's atmosphere. Its protective ozone layer, long a shield against Auragian's harsh rays, was steadily eroding. The culprit was a class of synthetic compounds known as xerocarbons, once celebrated for their low toxicity and remarkable chemical stability. Widely adopted in everything from refrigeration systems to aerosol propellants, xerocarbons soon became an integral part of Xerulian daily life. Unbeknownst to most, the widespread accumulation of xerocarbons was undermining Vestra's atmospheric balance. Molecule by molecule, these compounds disrupted the ozone layer's delicate equilibrium, slowly enlarging a gap that left vast regions of the planet exposed to Aurorion's potent radiation. Initial scientific warnings were met with disbelief. The notion that the very substances fueling industrial progress could precipitate environmental catastrophe was too staggering for many to accept, and the cautionary voices were soon drowned out by the siren call of progress. Economic ambitions and the allure of continual advancement silenced the skeptics. The Xerulian public, dazzled by the immediate benefits of xerocarbons, largely ignored the mounting evidence that their technological triumph was sowing the seeds of inevitable decline. All the while, the ozone gap widened, a silent portent of the disaster to come. The crisis reached a climax when an emergency convocation of meteorologists and atmospheric scientists revealed the stark reality. Vestra's fragile envelope was on the brink of collapse, and with it, the future of their civilization. In a bold bid to preserve their legacy amid the encroaching environmental collapse, the Xerulians embarked on an unprecedented endeavor, the Celestial Archive Project. Rather than constructing a single monolithic structure, this visionary plan sought to deploy a network of compact, self-sustaining archive modules. These modules were engineered to endure the ravages of cosmic time and harsh radiation, and were destined for stable orbits at the Lagrange points around Aurorion, where gravitational forces would guarantee their longevity. Each archive module was a veritable vault of Xerulian knowledge, encoding scientific discoveries, artistic masterpieces, philosophical treatises, and the chronicles of everyday life in ultra-durable, radiation-hardened media. The design drew inspiration from natural crystalline structures, ensuring that even as Vestra and its star evolved, the archive's message would persist. Scheduled for sequential deployment over generations, the Celestial Archive was a mosaic of enduring insight, a testament to the Xerulians' determination to speak to the cosmos long after their own voices had faded. Yet even as the Celestial Archive project advanced, Vestra's environmental decay accelerated. The deteriorating ozone shield rendered vast swaths of the planet inhospitable. Croplands withered, inciting famine and sparking regional conflicts over ever-dwindling resources. Forced into seclusion during the harsh daylight, the Xerulians emerged only at twilight, when Orion's harmful rays waned enough to permit safe passage. The once flourishing civilization, so proud of its scientific and cultural achievements, now confronted the bleak reality of a world succumbing to both cosmic inevitability and its own missteps. And still, amid the chaos and despair, the yearning to reach out to the cosmos endured. Even as trust in established institutions eroded, the indomitable spark of curiosity that had driven the Xerulians to map the heavens remained undimmed. The Celestial Archive project became a symbol of their collective hope, that even if their civilization were destined to vanish, their story would echo across the eons as a silent testament to a species that dared to dream and defy the odds. As Orion aged and began its inexorable descent toward a white dwarf state, the significance of the archive modules grew ever more poignant. Far in the future, long after the Xerulians had faded into cosmic memory, an intrepid astronomer from an unknown civilization might one day detect the faint, periodic signals emanating from one of these modules, a relic of a bygone era. With careful analysis of the data, that distant observer might discern an unmistakable pattern, a structure so deliberately arranged that it could only be the work of an intelligent species reaching out across the vast gulf of time. Of course, no structure is eternal. Over billions of years, the relentless impact of cosmic dust, radiation, and the slow decay of matter would gradually distort even these marvels of engineering. The intricate data patterns embedded within the archive modules might blur into fragmented relics, a ghostly remnant of a grand ambition that spanned the ages. The tale of the Xerulians stands as both a cautionary epic and a tribute to the resilience of life. It reminds us that in the face of overwhelming cosmic forces, the drive to explore, understand, and communicate remains as enduring as the stars themselves. Like the Xerulians, we dwell on a fragile world set amid a boundless universe, a world whose fate is inextricably linked to the choices we make today. So as you gaze upon the shimmering tapestry of the night sky, remember that every star, every planet, and every civilization is part of a vast, interconnected story. The Silver Spire may be our cherished jewel in the cosmic expanse, but its beauty is matched only by its vulnerability. The legacy of the Xerulians, enshrined in the Celestial Archive Project, serves as a poignant reminder. Our future is not preordained, it is ours to shape. Thank you for joining me on this voyage through time and space, exploring the rise and fall of a civilization that once reached for the stars. If you feel inspired to help illuminate the mysteries of our universe, please consider joining our growing community. Until next time, keep your eyes on the heavens, remain thoughtful, stay curious, and may your journey among the stars be ever awe-inspiring.